A shocking fact: 78% of homeowners are unaware of the important things we highlight in this video. This infomercial video will reveal how we can assist you. Keep watching and you'll thank me later.
This video is really specific for sellers who are thinking about putting their home on the market. We're going to talk a lot about money that you should spend for home repairs and money that you shouldn't be spending on home repairs. Let's get right to the video. So this video is about a question that I get asked an awful lot when I'm getting ready to put a home on the market. And I can't stress enough how important it is that if you're thinking about selling your home, you need to ask this question sooner than later. Because once you ask the question, the money's been spent, and it might have been a good idea to spend it, but it also might have been a good idea to keep it in your pocket. And I believe a big part of a listing agent's job is to help their seller keep more money in their pocket, and that's certainly by giving them good counsel on where to spend it. And so that's what we're going to talk about today: where to spend your money, and where not to spend your money in reference to home repairs. If you're a seller getting ready to put your home on the market, what you need to do and probably what you don't need to do. So let's get right to the slides. Here you can see we're going to talk primarily about some home inspection items on this slide. And what I mean by home inspection items is not that the seller's necessarily having a home inspection, but if you put your home on the market and you get it under contract, at least in our area, there's a pretty good chance, depending on the age of the home, that you're going to have a home inspection. These bullet points are the primary things that a home inspector is looking for. He's looking at HVAC systems, plumbing systems, electrical, crawl space, and your roof. And each one of these could certainly be a big flag, and they could cost a lot of money, and they could scare the buyer into a place where they don't want to buy your house now. And now that issue has become material to the sale. That's what we call it. And so now we have actual knowledge that there is an issue in the crawl space. And if that issue isn't going to be fixed, now because I know it as the listing agent in Virginia, I have to disclose it. Once it's fixed, there's nothing to disclose anymore. But if you're not going to fix it, we have to disclose it. So a good idea for you to at least be aware of what's going on with your house with these different items. Most people in our area, if they live in a home that has a crawl space, which means that there's space between the floor and the ground, they have a company that comes down and does an annual inspection and makes sure that there aren't any surprises in the crawl space, like bugs or standing water or broken beam or anything like that. So if you haven't done that, that's certainly a good idea to spend your money on having someone come out and investigate that and make the repairs as necessary or the treatments as necessary for that type of item. HVAC system, plumbing, electrical, roof, those are things that a home inspector is also going to focus on. And when the buyer has a home inspection, we're hoping that the buyer does it with the right mindset, that he's looking at the property and wanting to learn more about the property and not how to kill the deal or how to get more money out of the seller. That's not the right mindset, in my opinion, for a buyer. The buyer should be wanting to learn about the property. And if there's a major issue to one of these types of items, then certainly that's something that you could ask the seller to fix or negotiate with the seller on that. So, sellers, if you're thinking about putting your home on the market, you want to make sure that these types of items are working well and proper. Does that mean spend the money for a home inspection? Not necessarily. If you know your roof is 35 years old, there's a good chance you might need a new roof, right? If no one's been in your crawl space and you've lived there for 10 years, there's a good chance you're going to need to have somebody go and investigate the crawl space. You know when your HVAC system's working right or wrong. You know when your plumbing's working right or wrong. And you know maybe some of the rooms in your home, when you flick the light switch, you have to flick it a couple of times to get the lights on. It's not supposed to do that. So you know what's right and what's wrong. So for these types of items, which are major items, you probably want to spend a little bit of money to get these types of items fixed, okay? Or at least learn a little bit more about what a buyer might be seeing when he comes in with his home inspector. This next list is a little trickier because these are cosmetic items. And I see and get asked a lot by sellers, should I go ahead and replace the carpet? Should I go ahead and paint? Should I remove the wallpaper and paint? Well, I mean, that's a tough decision because what you're going to replace the carpet with is probably going to be a little less expensive than what the buyer would prefer. Maybe the padding is a little less expensive. Maybe they had animals and the buyers would certainly prefer carpet that's stain resistant to animals. If your carpet has an odor to it, I'm going to tell you, you probably need to replace that. Okay, the odor is a deal killer. Most of the time when a buyer comes in a home, if the odor of animals hits them, they don't even go the rest of the way. So possibly carpet, but only I would think because it's really in bad shape, right? It's in bad shape. If it's not in bad shape, but it does need to be replaced sooner than later, maybe even a carpet allowance is a good idea. As opposed to you replacing the carpet, just giving them an allowance so that they can replace the carpet. Depending on the type of financing, that can usually be worked out. As far as paint goes, very difficult to say. If you're going to paint, you need to paint with a neutral color. You don't paint with your favorite color unless it's a neutral color, right? You're going to need to paint where you think everyone else is going to go, oh, this is nice, and look, it's freshly painted. Great. As opposed to, oh, look, it's freshly painted. What color is that, right? So be careful with it. You don't always need to paint, but painting gets you a good return on your investment if you do it right and you use a neutral color. So I'm not saying don't do it, but you need to have a professional such as myself come in, take a look at it, and make sure that it needs to be painted, because it might not need to be painted, right? You might not get your money back on that. Wallpaper, wow, that's tough, because removing wallpaper on homes that have wallpaper can be expensive and challenging. Can wallpaper be a deal killer? Maybe, depending on the buyer and how picky the buyer is. Also, depending on what we're getting ready to talk about in a minute. What is the market like in the area where you're going to be selling your home? If it's a seller's market, wallpaper can't kill the deal because there isn't anything else for these buyers to look at. So why are you spending the money on removing the wallpaper? But obviously, if it's not that type of market and the wallpaper is just, oh my goodness, well, you might want to spend the money and have that removed and then painted with a neutral color. So I hope that helps. This next one, what is the bottom line? Well, get professional assistance from a realtor. And that's certainly what we do at Redefy. RedefyFlatFee.com. We help our sellers constantly, and we do it for a flat fee of $5,500 on the listing side. So, and there's a little button you can click on if you want to check out our website. Please do. Anyway, get professional assistance from a realtor. That is what part of what we get paid to do, is to go out there and help you get the house ready to go. Don't spend your money first and then ask for assistance, right? We've all had to do this with our kids where they say, can I go and eat a piece of cake? No, I already did. Why are you asking me that? So be careful with that. You don't need to, make sure that if you're a seller that you spend your money after you get counsel and advice. All right, please. A seller home inspection isn't always the right way to go. If you really want to learn, fantastic. If you're going to fix the items that you're going to learn about, then if you're going to fix the items that a home inspector is going to tell you that you need to fix, well, then yeah, go ahead and have a home inspection. Be ready. If you're not going to fix those items, well, if the buyer has a home inspector, there's a good chance that he's going to find those items as well. So you got to be careful with that. Your taste may not be your taste may not be the taste of the buyer. Try to stay neutral. We talked a little bit about this. Your taste may not be the same as the buyer. There's a really good chance that your taste will not be the same as the buyer. So before you start spending money on things that are your taste, find out if you need to spend money on those things in the first place, and then find out how to do that. Neutral colors, those kinds of items.
Decluttering, here we go. Decluttering and keeping a clean home goes a long way. I can't tell you, if the house is clean and decluttered and they can see the square footage and they can see what it would be like for them to live there, that's really what you're looking for. That's really the key component to getting the home ready for sale. So I hope these items helped. My name is Doug Wolfe. I'm with RedefyFlatFee.com here in Hampton Roads, Virginia. Please check out all of our other videos. I'm going to put a couple of links on here. Please be sure to like this page and subscribe to it. I put out videos as often as possible, usually once a week, just to mainly help sellers and buyers in our area learn a little bit more with some key tips on how to get the highest price for your home and to get the best deal possible. Make it a great day. Stay safe.
For more information, please click the link below or give us a call.